So let me ask you then about how we become customer obsessed, because we all say that we are. McKinsey did another study and they said that only 15% of companies actually even use the voice of the customer in their strategic decision making. So we obviously are falling short, 3 to 5%. I think that was like the B2C to B2B numbers from the Forrester study that are customer obsessed. So that's a fact. We're not, as an industry, customer obsessed. We need to be customer obsessed. So we have to be proactive at this. This can't be one of the things that, and I run into this all the time, and it's reflected back to me that because we're talking about the customer all the time, because we're in sales conversations, we're in customer success conversations, we do studies, we have CAB meetings, right? We're customer obsessed. We get it. We understand. But I'm talking to more and more C-suite executives that say, we're not in the right rooms asking the right questions at the right time. And let me give you one example. In the world of B2B where the buyer is waiting longer and longer to want to even talk to us. They're making the majority of their decision making before they close the short list. There's only a small number of companies that get on. And then the conversations that ensue after that are more validating, their confirmation of the decisions that they've made. And so we're learning vital things in those conversations, but they aren't conversations of when their priorities were forming, when they were setting the timelines and the budgets and why do we need to even be thinking about this and working about this now. Given that context, given a world where B2B companies don't even have a chief customer officer, we don't have a customer obsessed framework in place. How do we become truly customer obsessed?
Oh my gosh, you've touched on so many things, right? Before I answer that question directly, just when you were speaking, I was thinking about the customer today has so many different touch points, and they're so different from what they used to be. Before, we knew that if we send an email out or if we'd give the customer a call, that would be a touch point that would be registered, and then we can get feedback, etc. But today, the customer journey has completely changed. You have a customer can interact with us on via the phone, email, LinkedIn, text message, WhatsApp, quite a lot in the Middle East as well, in the rest of the world. And then Instagram, Facebook. There's so many channels where we can interact and have touch points with the customers that I think that it's impossible for us to measure the customer journey the way that it was measured 10 years ago. There's no way, right? How do we track at which point did the customer make up their mind today to come and interact with us? It's an impossible job. So what we have to ensure is that at every single interaction, even if it's one that we have with the customer, that interaction exceeds the customer's expectation. That's it. I think that it's as simple as that. That means that every single person from the company or from any company that interacts with their customer base just needs to over-deliver on what the customer needs at any single point in time. Because if that one single interaction exceeds the customer's expectations, then that will lead the customer to more and more touch points with the company, and then they will hopefully become a very loyal customer long term. It's an extremely difficult job to try and capture a customer journey today because it's all over the place and we cannot control it. You know, I keep telling my teams when we have our weekly calls and meetings is that in every pitch that we go in today, the customer has already pre-vetted us. They have looked us up. They have put in our proposal through an AI, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, whatever it is. They have found the flaws in our own pitch, right? So we
Great?
go. No, absolutely. And I think that it really happens in real time. And it's quite disarming when you've worked so hard and you go in and all of a sudden the questions don't start from what used to be a normal meeting, but now the questions start, oh, we have found A, B, and C in your pitch or in your proposal. There's such deep questions that you know that you have been pre-vetted and it's all been done with AI. So that's why right now what I'm doing internally for my teams is to make sure that we do the same. Whenever we go into meetings, we have pre-vetted our clients, we have run it through all our internal AI solutions, so that when we turn up for that meeting, there's no stone unturned. But that just to go back to your customer obsession and how do we track the customer journey, in today's world, every single interaction matters. That's it. I think it's as simple as that. And I think I'll leave it at that because the world is changing every day. The tools that we are being given to use every day are changing. And I feel that most of us and most of the companies that we're interacting with, my peers, colleagues, people from the industry, we're trying to play catch up. And I think that's the honest truth.